In this video, I'm going to give you a number of strategies for how to choose profitable keywords to target with your gig. And of course, largely you do that with your gig title, the words in your gig title, which you don't get that many words to use, but there's still enough to work with. But the title is the single most important spot where you target keywords. So how do you create your gig title? Well, especially if you're starting out, you should make sure that the keywords you target are not too competitive, but still have demand. Because if they're too competitive, you're going to have a hard time ranking and make no sales. How do you check if they're too competitive? You simply go to Fiverr and you search those keywords and see who comes up. If the gigs that come up have hundreds or thousand reviews and the entire first page is filled with popular gigs and the second page is filled with not as popular but still pretty popular gigs, you know it's a little too competitive for new sellers, so you need to target something that's less competitive. Additionally, if you search and all the gigs have maybe like 3 reviews, 4 reviews, then you know it's just not an in-demand keyword, so you've got to move on. Now, the good news is that you can target both cases, the competitive and the long tail non-competitive keywords in one gig title listing. For example, let's say you're trying to target the keyword logo design. That's competitive. This is what's called a short tail keyword. If you're searching for logo design, that's the shortest version of that search. It's the most popular. It has the most demand, but also the most competition. So what's recommended to do is to at the same time target a longer version of it. For example, logo design for a small business. Okay, now it's a lot less competitive. It still might be competitive, but you see you have the word for business in there, for small business. And you can change this up. You can have another gig that's targeting specifically logo design for a restaurant. And if you're a logo designer, you can choose a few niches like logo design for a restaurant or coffee shop. That would be one gig title. On a different gig, you would have logo design for a doctor's office. Another gig, logo design for a startup. You see, because you get a lot of gigs, so you're able to use a lot of keywords, same service, but just different keywords targeting a lot of the long tail phrases, which can bring you clients. But this is not really it yet. What we also have to be aware of is that the keywords you target vary in profitability. What do I mean by that? People searching different things have different needs, and based on their needs, you may or may not be able to sell next things. For example, I have a gig that targets the keyword SEO strategy, and I have a gig that targets the keyword marketing plan. These are 2 separate gigs with 2 separate keywords. It might seem that the upsell is very similar, like a client who needs SEO. They're a small business owner. They might need the same things as a client who's searching for a marketing plan. But the way it turned out was that the person searching for the marketing plan, they weren't sure yet what their marketing plan was. So they're kind of further from buying specific services. They're still undecided. And it proved to be a lot harder to sell them specific things. I would never have actually known that until I actually sold those gigs and try to upsell those extra services, and then realize, oh, the people who buy the SEO strategy gig are far more lucrative as clients because I was able to upsell them many, many more additional things. They turned out to be much more profitable. So in your case, let's say you have different services you could sell, a marketing plan versus logo design versus website creation. So you can tell where a person is in their shopping and buying process according to what they're searching. So obviously marketing plan, they're just planning. They haven't decided yet. Logo design, of course they want a logo, but how many other upsells do they want? Maybe they just need a logo design, but they haven't really started the actual business. A lot of people who are just planning, they kind of get a logo, maybe a domain name, but maybe they're kind of still on the fence. They just don't know what to do. On the other hand, a person searching for website creation services, well, you know, they're going to have a website. A website needs a million other things. SEO, social media marketing, YouTube marketing, perhaps, all the other marketing. And so you have a lot of upsell opportunities to the person searching for website creation. And so this way you can make a lot of money from one person by targeting the right service with the right keywords. Because again, if you target website creation or website building or WordPress design, it's super competitive. But if you target, let's say, WordPress website for a restaurant, and you become really good at that and you specialize in that, and WordPress website for a dentist, WordPress website for a startup, WordPress website for a blog, etc., and you become really good at those specific business designs, and because there's so much upsell opportunity, these keywords will be extremely lucrative because you can upsell so much to just one client. And this is a great way to think about not just how to rank or not rank, but actually how to build a business on top of your Fiverr services.